So very good morning, TRB electrical aspirants. Okay, so let us go through the 1 mark problems in the TRB Polytechnic electrical paper. Okay, so the next problem is from measurements. A very simple problem. Okay, so probably the one who knows the fundamental after reading the statement, which are the following statements about the instrument resistance. Okay, the internal resistance of the measuring instruments is true. Okay, in general. Okay, so the problem is about the quality of an ammeter and voltmeters. Okay, so what should be the quality of ammeters and voltmeter that is decided by the internal resistance of the instrument. Shortly, we call them as instrument resistance. Okay, so usually, for example, if it is an ammeter or a voltmeter, we prefer the symbol. This is how we prefer to say. So it can be a PMMC plus minus. So usually, if it is an ammeter, we prefer to say it's 0 to its full scale deflection. Along with that range of the instrument, we prefer to say the meter resistance Rm. Okay, so if it is a ammeter, this is going to be, so otherwise either this representation or sometimes we used to represent an ammeter like this also, an ammeter, yes, this also is fine, it's plus minus. Okay, so is not restricting is concept. That means the question only to the DC instruments. It may also be applicable to AC instrument. So when it comes to ammeters, what is the requirement for ammeter means? So any instrument should not load your circuit. That's a main requirement. Any instrument should not load your circuit. Suppose you are about to measure a current in the circuit means before connecting the instrument, whatever the current existing in the circuit, the same current should exist even after connecting the instrument. But this is not going to be very practical because the meter is going to have a finite resistance very practically. Okay. But we need to ensure that the meter resistance must be such that, okay, how much effect it is going to offer on the original circuit where the current has to be measured, that effect should be as minimal as possible. Accordingly, we have to choose the instrument resistance. We have to design the instrument in such a way that the instrument resistance is either very high or very low. Okay, so what does an ideal ammeter means? It is the one sensing the current, for example. So let me talk about the quality of an ammeter now. And the problem, if it is not having such a quality, say for example, I'm about to measure a current in this circuit. So I have a simple, so you can take a simple example yourself. So you can have a concrete proof with confidence. You can give the answer. Say a very simple circuit, a simple series circuit consisting of a resistor and a voltage source. Let me have a provision now. So there are two terminals. Okay, I have a provision. So there I will connect my ammeter later. So let this is the resistance and this is my voltage source Vs. Say let the voltage source is equal to 10 volt and let the resistance is equal to, say for example, 2 kilowatts. Now if I offer this connection, and what will be the current? As per the Ohm's law, one can easily say the current is going to be 10 volt falling across 2K. The current is going to be what? 5 milliamps. Okay, so now let me remove the connection. Then let me present an DC ammeter, a DC ammeter of suitable range. It's plus minus, say this is a PMMC ammeter, common magnet moving coil of suitable range. Let me take it 0 to 10 milliamps. Now let the meter resistance is equal to 100 volts. Okay, now tell me what is the current in the circuit. Okay, so I will offer this way. So let me copy the circuit. So we'll play and we can have a simple distinction between the two. Yes, here the connection is made like this without any instrument. So then the circuit is closed. The current in the circuit is going to be 5 milliamps. So this is the ambience. Okay, so my test current to be measured is 5 milliamps. So in this ambience, I'm going to introduce my ammeter with the range plus minus, that is going to be 0 to 10. So because the current to be measured is 5 milliamps. Okay, so let us measure this current using a 0 to 10 milliamps ammeter, PMMC ammeter. So let this permanent magnet moving coil DC ammeter has the resistance of, say for example, it has a resistance of 100 ohms. Assume it has a resistance of 100 ohms means, then tell me what's a current in the circuit. Means current through the instrument, that's a meter current. So take it as a IM, that's a meter current. So what's a meter current now? The meter current as per the Ohm's law only, very simple fundamental only. So then it is 10 volt divided by the net resistance is going to become 2100 ohms. Okay, right? So 10 volt divided by 2100 ohms means what is that? It's going to be 10,000. Okay, so millivolt. Okay, it's going to be 10,000 millivolt divided by 2100. So that means you can have 4 numbers of 2100 means it's going to be 4 point. Yes, then feel like you're doing it in the examination, then it is going to be 8,400. Okay, so you'll get millivolts 4 times means then the result is going to be 1600 millivolt. Put it dot, then offer a 0. So then, so we'll play with the number. It's the result is going to be in milli. Okay, milliamps. 2100 ohms. Okay, you're dividing it by, that is 10,000 divided by 2100 ohms. Okay, it's milli. Already I converted the volt into milli. It's in milli. Result is going to be in milliamps. Okay, so now I have 16,000 means then approximately around 8 times. Let me try 8 times 2100 will be around 16,000 and 8 into this going to be 800. So I can add, I have how much actually 16 only I have. So let me go for 7. Then I can have, excuse me. So I can have 14,000 and then 7 into, yes, 700. So 14,700. So approximately at 14,700. Okay, fine. Then 14,700 means so 4.7 something it goes on. Okay, right? So we can go for one more digit if you want. Then 13,000 means how many we can accommodate in 30,000? Approximately around 6. So like 4.76 milliamps. You calculate accurately using the calculator. Then it is going to be 10 volt divided by 2100. Then for the analysis, it's exactly around 4.762 milliamps. Exactly 4.762 milliamps. See this. So after connecting the instrument in the given circuit, my current got disturbed. Okay, so we are about to measure 5 milliamps. Before connecting the instrument, the current was 5 milliamps. After connecting the instrument, the current got disturbed because of the ammeter resistance. This is what we call as very technically ammeter loading effect. Okay, in measurements, this is called, we call as ammeter loading effect. Okay. So as the resistance of the ammeter is more, then the loading effect will be more. As the resistance decreases, error due to loading will get decreased. Now tell me what's a percentage error in your measurement of current means. The percentage error is going to be basic function measured variable, measured value minus true value divided by true value into 100%. So here the true current you are about to measure is 5 milliamps. After connecting the instrument, what current the meter is supposed to read? Meter is 100% accurate. Meter is 100% accurate. It is suffering only because of its internal resistance. Okay, so because of that only the current changed. So the current flowing through the instrument is still the 4.76 only. So assuming no other accuracy problem with the instrument, it is going to read 4.76. Then the indicated reading is 4.762 milliamps. Taking the whole number, then 4.762 minus 5 exponent minus 3, okay, is equal to divided by 5. So you can say simply 4.76 also you take minus 5, okay, divided by 5 into 100% means then the error is going to be minus 4.8% error due to the instrument. Okay, this is what the problem we face. Okay, suppose in the same circuit, yes, this is your circuit. Now the current in the circuit is 5 milliamps. Now connecting an instrument, one more ammeter. It is also having the same range. It is also having 0 to 10 milliamps, and it has a meter resistance of only 1 ohm. Now tell me what's a current through the instrument and what will be the reading. The meter current itself is going to be your reading. Now what you're going to get is 10 volt divided by 2001 ohm you will get. The accurate current will be, the accurate current will be 10 volt divided by 2001, means exactly what current you're going to get is 4.9975 milliamps you are getting. Okay, that's a current you are getting. Okay, so I think it's very better than, much better than the last one. Okay, so when RM is 100, okay, so reading is only around how much? It is 4.76 milliamps. When RM is 1 milliamps, sorry, 1 ohm, when RM is 1 ohm and things are getting better, that's what you need to feel. So then things will be even better if RM exactly equal to 0 ohm. This is what we call as an ideal ammeter. An ideal ammeter should not suffer due to loading, should not offer any loading in the circuit. Okay. So if RM equal to 0, the loading effect is completely eliminated. So always there is a loading when we connect electrical instruments, okay, for measurement. Whereas if you go with electronic ammeter, and this won't create any problem because it's going to offer resistance very closer to 0. Okay, right? So it's an electrical instrument we are connecting. So directly the PMMC is coming into the play, that is offering an internal resistance of 1 ohm. Still things are better if you calculate the percentage error in your measurement. So now itself we can believe the current is very closer to 5 milliamps. So the error will be, even if you calculate the error, then it is 4.9975. Let me take minus 5. Okay, so divided by 5, okay, into 100% for analysis sake, then your error is getting reduced to 0.05%, and accuracy of measurement is 99.95%. Accurate measurement can be done, and here the accuracy is only around 95.2% is your accuracy. Okay, this is inaccuracy in your measurement, that's your error. So this is what the real situation is. So is it possible to conclude the problem only with this? Means yes, it's possible. Let us check. Okay, so the ammeter resistance should be very small. Okay, then we have to have a comparison with the voltmeter then. So we should understand the voltmeter loading effect as well. Understand? Okay. So that's, I'm just giving you the concept through this problem. Suppose if we take a voltmeter, so let me take a simple potential divider circuit. On the way understanding the effect of voltmeter loading and ammeter loading. So let me have a voltage source. Assume the supply voltage is equal to 100 volts. I have two resistors now. So a simple potential divider. That's how we can help yourself in the examination. Assume it is, for example, a 40 kilo ohm resistor, and this is a 10 kilo ohm resistor. Very simple. So I am about to measure the voltage across the 10 kilo ohm resistor. I'm about to measure the voltage across the 10 kilo ohm resistor. So now you know very well what's the voltage across this. Let me have a copy paste of the circuit so that we'll connect the instruments soon. So without connecting the instrument, what is the potential? Okay, so again, go by the simple Ohm's law. So the net resistance seen by the source is 50 kilo ohm. So the current is going to be 100 volt divided by 50 kilo ohms. Okay. So 100 by 50 kilo ohms will give you 2 milliamps current. Okay, so if you go by 2 milliamps current, the drop across this will be, okay, so the same 2 milliamps current is going through this. Okay, need not to go by potential division. You can forget about it comfortably. Okay, play by Ohm's law. That's very easy. Then 2 milliamps into 20K will give you 20 volt. Okay, 20 volt is the potential difference across the 10 kilo ohm resistor. This is what I'm about to measure. I know very clearly this potential is 20. This is exactly the true value of the voltage to be measured. I'm going to measure this. Now let me pick an instrument. I'm about to measure this. I'm going to connect a voltmeter, DC voltmeter. Since it's a DC voltage, I'm going to connect the instrument. Let me take this way. Okay, so with a round and a pointer. Okay, so going to read something on the scale. So let the voltmeter in suitable ranges 0 to 100 volt. I have chosen a voltmeter of 0 to 100 volt. Usually the voltmeter will be given by ohm per volt sensitivity for any voltmeter. Assume it is, for example, I have 10K, right? So 100. Okay, this is a point. So let me make a round number. So then it is going to be 100 volt, right? 100 means okay, let this is voltmeter having a resistance of 50 ohm per volt. That's a little vast. Okay, so but still it is given. Okay, take it as 50 ohm per volt. Okay, 100 ohm per volt will be reasonable. Yes, 100 ohm per volt will make it. Okay, 100 ohm per volt means, so what's the meter resistance? The meter resistance is going to be your AS ohm per volt into the full scale deflection of the instrument. Then you can find the meter resistance. So usually in voltmeter they will give only this data. Yes, practically I'm giving that data only. So that is talking about the full scale deflection current of your instrument. Based on that, straight away it's easy to represent ohm per volt. From that you go for the required meter resistance. So this is what the spec given. So this is the voltmeter, this is the spec of the voltmeter. These two are given. I'm going for calculation of the meter resistance. Then it is going to be 100 ohm per volt means, and if the full scale range is 0 to 100, then it is going to be a 10 kilo ohm meter. Okay, so I have what voltmeter means. I have a 10 kilo ohm instead of taking straight away like ammeter is taken. Okay, so because voltmeters are built only by using ammeters, so straight away we should not go for RM. So we should take the range and we should take the sensitivity of the instrument, then go for this. This is again a PMMC. Okay, now it is going to offer a meter resistance of 10 kilo ohm, and the voltage range is suitable for 0 to 100. Even supply is 100 only, so the voltage across the instrument cannot go beyond the 100, irrespective of where you are sensing the potential. So it's a suitable instrument for this application. But what is unfortunately going to happen means the whole circuit, because of connecting the instrument here, you just connected the instrument here. Because of that, okay, the two leads of your instrument, you can also perceive this way. Okay, so you have a voltmeter, you have a voltmeter. So these are the two terminals. You have taken two wires and then connected the instrument here. Okay, right? So now what is going to happen? Because of before you connect the instrument, there is no current. Okay, in this path, there is no current in this path. See this. Okay, there is no current in this path. It's an open circuit. Before connecting the instrument, this current is 0 milliamp. This current is also 0 milliamps. Whatever the current existing in the circuit is going through this. So, but unfortunately, what happens when we connect the voltmeter creates loading. That means it is going to alter the situation of the test circuit. Okay, this is what the problem practically known as voltmeter loading. Practically, any voltmeter or ammeter always will load the circuit. Okay, there is a test circuit where you are having the test current or test voltage. Okay, so it is going to create the problem. So therefore, it is going to alter that voltage, and that voltage will be read by the voltmeter perfectly. Okay, so voltmeters, otherwise it is very accurate, but it is suffering only because of its internal resistance. So already we freeze the ideal ammeter should have 0 ohm resistance, or a practical ammeter should have very, very low resistance. Now we are going to comment on the voltmeter. So how to comment on the voltmeter? What is the expectation on its internal resistance? That is going to talk about its quality. Okay, so if it is no loading, it's a very good voltmeter. Okay, so earlier I have given you two ammeters, one with 100 ohm, one with 1 ohm. Who is best means one with 1 ohm is best. Suppose if I'm giving you one more ammeter of 0.1 ohm, and that is the best. Okay, so it is a selection of your ammeter for the same range. Range is same, assuming resolutions are same. You are deciding the instrument selection based on your internal resistance of the instrument. Okay, so now what is going to happen? Because of this 10K, this 10K 10K will become parallel. So the whole circuit is going to become, it's 40K and then 5K. This is what going to happen. So this is going to be the excitation, that is still 100 We are not changing that. And this resistance is still 40K as per the circuit analysis. Because of introducing the meter, the net resistance 10K parallel 10K is going to become 5K. And this is what exactly the voltage across the instrument. That's a VM. Okay, if you go by potential division or go by current, what is the current? 100 volt divided by total resistance will be the current, that's 45K. And then you are taking the drop across 5K means, so it's going to be 5 kilo ohm into 5 kilo ohm. Then the voltmeter is going to sense only this potential. What is that? 100 divided by, so it's going to be 9 volts only. So if you go for the 100 by 9, okay, exact number will be 100 by 9 will be, so 11.111 volts. Okay, but what it is supposed to read? What it is supposed to read? It is supposed to read 20. But what it is reading now is 11.11. What happened? Because of the meter resistance, okay, the measured value going to become less than the true value. Error is going to be negative because the instrument read less than what it is supposed to read. Okay, right? So this is what happens. So the voltmeter now reading only this much. After connecting the instrument is going to read only 11.11 volt. That's a measured value. Okay, so the true value before connecting the instrument is 20. Therefore, the percentage error in the instrument is going to be very large. What is the percentage error? It's 11.11 minus 20 divided by 20. So approximately it will be, so it's 10 minus 20. So it's going to be approximately around 50%. For a numbered sake, we'll go for the accurate answer. 11.11 minus 20, okay, divided by 20 divided by true value. So into 100%. Such a huge error as a resultant, minus 44.45% you are getting. That's a problem due to voltmeter loading. How to eliminate this loading means, if you don't want to disturb your circuit condition, that's possible only when the voltmeter resistance is made. Only when the voltmeter resistance is what? Increased. Ideally, if Rm is infinity, that's ideal voltmeter. It won't draw any current here. So then infinity parallel 10K will remain 10K, and the total resistance seen by the circuit will remain what? 50 kilo ohm, and this current will remain 2 milliamps, and this current will remain 2 milliamps, and the voltmeter will sense happily the true value, and then error will brought down to 0. Therefore, ideal voltmeter should have Rm equal to infinity. An ideal ammeter should have Rm equal to 0. This is ideal voltmeter. That's a simple requirement. This is ideal ammeter. So you make things closer to ideal means let Rm is very, very small, and for the ammeter, let Rm is very, very large for the voltmeter, so that even practically you can have negligible loading effects. Okay, and those loading effects will create loading errors. We can say negligible loading errors in our measurement of current and voltage, even though they are practical instruments. Okay, so I have given a simple explanation based on DC instruments. Same thing is applicable even when we use moving iron, okay, for AC current and voltage measurement. Okay, by default, the power supply frequency 50 Hz measurements is done only by using moving iron instruments. DC by PMMC and AC by moving iron instruments. Same problem we are going to face there also, but only thing is that there you have to, here we play comfortably only with the magnitude, there you have to play with the magnitude as well as phase information. Okay, right? Carefully. Okay, so hope you understood this concept. Okay, so the solution, let me come to the solution part. Yes, so stick to the fundamental so that we need not to remember so many things. So it's all about whether the fundamentals are clear or not. Okay, in any competitive examination. So the right answer, I need not to say the right answer, you know the right answer now. Okay, the point is just I'm helping you to freeze the right solution for any given problem. Okay, through the fundamental. Yes, you got a strong material, strongly you can conclude. Yes, what is that? Options are saying the internal resistance of ammeters and voltmeters should be very small. No, we don't expect. If voltmeter resistance is 0, then it is going to measure nothing. Okay, if the ammeter resistance is, suppose for the other hand, very large, means if ammeter resistance is infinity, it is going to stop entire current in a current test environment. So therefore, okay, so we expect ammeter to have 0 resistance and voltmeter should have infinite resistance. That's ideal thing. So the one which is closer to the ideal thing is your answer. So what is the given? So the internal resistance of Ammeter should be very small and that of voltmeter should be very high. That's what in option B. Option D is contradicting to that one. Internal resistance of ammeter should be very large and voltmeter should be very small. So if you by heart things, okay, so definitely you will have a situation where you are in a dilemma whether you have to go for B or D. So if you go by conceptual thing, you have nothing to keep in your mind and simply can go for a simple example. And then if you choose one, then straight away you remember the other, then it's going to be very easy. So the right answer for this problem is ideal ammeter should have zero resistance, ideal voltmeter should have infinite resistance. By keeping this in mind, you can go for the practical expected thing. Ammeter resistance should be, when you select an ammeter, ensure that it is having very, very small resistance. When you choose a voltmeter, ensure that it has very, very large resistance. Okay, what resistance? Okay, so that is a Thevenin's resistance of the circuit. Okay, right? You Thevenize, you keep it like a one voltage source, one resistance. Let the ammeter resistance is very, very smaller than Thevenin resistance of the circuit. Let the voltmeter resistance is very, very larger than Thevenin's equivalent of the circuit. Yes, that's a rule, especially when we go for testing current or voltage in a true ambient. Okay, so thanks for watching. We'll update you with one more video soon, and do subscribe the channel